Alright, so I'm all packed up. I got breakfast, looking a little burnt. Oh well. Today might be the most challenging climb I'll have ever done in cycling so far. Um, I've heard it's about 13 miles with about a 6% grade on average, which that does not sound fun, especially with my trailer. So I'm probably not going to do a lot of on-the-road vlogging. Unless I stop and rest here and there. And yeah, hopefully I make it up. Um, I'm not too worried. I'm pretty sure I can do it. I'm just not looking forward to it. I'm hoping my legs are feeling good enough. So yeah, wish me luck, and I will see you at the top, hopefully. Okay, so before I play this next part, I kind of feel like I need to explain what happened in the next part. My cranks are Shimano Holotech style cranks. They're Deores specifically. But so they have an external bottom bracket and an integrated spindle, which if you don't ride bikes, that's just a bunch of jargon. But basically, my preload bolt broke, which probably happened because I probably had my I don't know if they're pinch bolts or tensioning bolts or whatever. I probably had them too loose, so anytime I would put any force on my left crank arm, I'm sure it was slowly putting that preload bolt under stress over a lot of time. And eventually it just cracked the bolt, which is plastic, and then the crank started sliding on the spindle a little bit, so where it was coming off basically. Um, which again won't mean much to people who don't know what Holotech cranks are. So this is really just an explanation for anybody who does ride bikes and knows what I'm talking about. And I feel the need to explain myself because I was pretty tired and I feel like I wasn't making a lot of sense in the next part. So this is me defending my tired, annoyed, complaining that you'll see in the next part of the video. But basically, I called up a mechanic friend of mine, Elliot, and he told me that it wasn't that big of a deal as long as I could push the crank back into the spindle all the way and tighten the bolts, I'd be fine, which is exactly what ended up happening. So it's all good. Sometimes when you're tired, you overreact to things. And my overreaction was that I thought the preload bolt was more important than it was. It's not. And I'm sure the reason why it was plastic was because of, if you're dumb like me, you don't tighten the cranks down all the way and it starts slipping out. The plastic bolt probably just breaks instead of stripping the threads if it was a metal bolt. So I'm glad that they actually made a plastic bolt after all. And I thought that my cranks wouldn't be able to be tightened all the way again without the preload bolt, which was false. So the next part's kind of an overreaction to a broken part that wasn't all that bad. So enjoy. Well, today went from pretty good to pretty bad in not too short of time. I made the big climb. I'm not done climbing, but I made the longest sustained part. And then I kind of noticed that my cranks were creaking, so I looked down, and sure enough, one of them was kind of coming out just a little bit. And So I tried to tighten them up, and this sucks. My question is, Shimano, why plastic? This is not good. So luckily it still has these bolts intact, which are not plastic. So I'm gonna try to just clamp it together with my hands as best as I can and retighten these back down pretty hard and just hope that it holds. Yeah, that's all I can really do. Today was looking to be so good too with the climb that I just finished, and that had to happen. These kinds of things can happen while traveling and while on a machine which has parts that can fail. So I can't let it get me down too much, and I gotta trust that I can get to the next bike shop in time to fix it. So yeah, just let's hope that my crank arm doesn't fall off. Yeah. So I just called Elliot, one of the mechanics from Velo Republic in Denton, asked him about my cranks, and he said that me pushing the crank arm all the way in and tightening the bolts down should be fine, at least till I get to the next bike shop. So that's good news. The other good news is, look at this view. Maybe you can't see it that well from this angle, but it's amazing to me. I really wish you could see this from my context of just having done the biggest climb of my life and being able to look at this now, because it's pretty amazing. I let the cranks get me down for a second, but I'm about to have a little bit of a downhill into Hakumba. Some Border Patrol guys just gave me water and didn't ask me for my papers or anything, so that's nice. And yeah, I just gotta look on the bright side when bad stuff happens. And the air's a lot cooler up here. It's just amazing. I'd love to stay in this moment for a little longer, but that climb took a long time, so I need to get pedaling to get to the town that I'm staying in for the night. So I'll see you there. See that fence behind me? That is Mexico. Don't worry, this part of the border is pretty safe. You got a lot of Border Patrol, and the locals at the restaurant that I ate at in Hakumba were telling me that people don't really have issues out here with any bad stuff at the border, so I'm safe. My bike looks pretty cool right now, but this is a really awesome view, and it's kind of cool to see Mexico on the other side. I've only been on the road for 9 days, and the first leg of it to San Diego is almost over, and I've seen so much different landscape, met so many different people. It's been amazing so far. So yeah, I only got a few more miles to go till I'm in Live Oak, where I'm gonna lay down camp for the night.